Mercury in Aries, or the first house, and the law of attraction. This is a very, very interesting placement because to me, this is where Aries gets to shine a little bit because it's a pioneering spirit, brave and courageous. You know, Aries rules the hero archetype in its highest vibration. Mercury rules the I think and the I speak. So here we are with a lot of energy focused on the I, which to the law of attraction is, oh my goodness, it's just like so warm and delicious and yummy and lovey, because the law of attraction does not necessarily respond to us giving to others in a way that does not celebrate the self. So when we look at the idea of of Mercury being in the Mars ruled sign, there is going to be a little bit of impatience that will happen as a result. Mars is going to want, Aries is going to want that. Let's see my manifestation very quickly, very quickly. In many ways, it can be a little bit so focused on getting to the end result that the little trip up here is that Aries can implement resistance inadvertently by being impatient with the process of manifestation. And the process does not have to be a slow process. The process and the manifestation itself will come on as expeditiously as the belief is authentic and clear. Now, so when we think about Aries, we think about the head, we think about adrenaline rushes, we think about competitors, athletes, warriors, heroes, people who go into high adrenaline situations and they deal with a lot of instinct. This is kind of a beautiful thing because Mercury is not instinctual. Mercury is thinking. Mercury is analyzing and processing and pontificating. So when we see Mercury in the first house and we're trying to think, how are we going to implement my sense of self and the law of attraction together? I believe that in this position, how your thinking process, your curiosity, Mercury's curiosity, your willingness to, rather than, I feel like it kind of works well together because Aries, you know, kind of is impatient. So it doesn't always completely follow through. It's very inspired action. So we have this idea that Mercury is gathering lots of bits of information here. And as it gathers those bits of information, I feel as if when I surrender to my instinctual dynamic, which is what Aries, the hero, is, then I will naturally align to the I think and I speak that is most authentic to the actual experience I want to have. This is where I kind of love Aries, because being the pioneer, Aries isn't set on the outcome. It's discovering the outcome. And in the first house, it's discovering itself and creating the outcome. So I want to offer it this way. When we're looking at Aries and we're thinking about the idea of the mind being very busy and being full of creative ideas, and I also think that there is this sense of wanting to exercise the body or drain the body of adrenaline or of extra energy, so that then I can then align more like a strategic warrior and really identify the thoughts that I'm willing to go the distance on. Aries, again, you know, is going to want that manifestation quickly. And when it doesn't see it, the frustration or the anger that it could experience will actually stop the law of attraction, because the focus will have shifted. The focus will shift onto the time, onto the clock, and onto the frustration. So this is one of the real pitfalls, I think, of having Mercury in the first house, because it's going to require patience with self as we dig deeper into the beliefs of what I am. And Aries doesn't quite know that yet. It's the soul coming into the physical experience and starting at the head and working its way down through the zodiac. So I think as a process, it would be very helpful for Aries to go do a workout, to exercise in some way, burn off some steam physically. And then when you're wanting to implement the laws of attraction, starting very much with that sort of jump off the cliff manifestation. I want to be a movie star. I want to be the president of the United States. I want to go to Mars. Okay. All those things are possible. And allowing that to play feels like it brings a sense of creativity and a sense of excitement in. And then you can sort of work into the idea of, well, if I can go that big, I can then kind of bring this back in, hone it into my everyday experiences. And as I hone them into my everyday experiences, I feel like this is where Aries really has an opportunity to use their head to get out of their head. Isn't that a funny idea? But what I'm trying to say is that as I work my body out and I sort of exercise out the indecision or the trepidation, and then I'm into what I want to experience. I want to experience the exhilaration of my own fear. And that's what an adrenaline junkie is. You know, the exhilaration of their own fear. And that's what manifestation does. It brings an exhilaration as we overcome our own fear. So for Aries, I guess one of the things I would say is, what price are you willing to pay in order to nurture what you want to manifest versus having it just show up immediately? And as you start to get the rhythm of the nurturing process, then the manifestation won't need as much nurturing time, because your trust and your belief has now superseded your experiences, thereby bringing in this pioneering dynamic where you're experiencing things that you didn't know you wanted, and yet they are in an absolute alignment with everything you want. So as a process, I would offer, I've already said the exercise. Now, when you go into the I think, I believe this is where you allow some creative license, okay, where you let your head sort of explode with ideas. You let yourself sort of pull the gates off of anything you think is what is and is not a potential, and just throw that spaghetti against the wall. The fire signs to me are always sort of fueled by the air, right? Every on the axes we see all the fire signs are their opposite is air. And when it comes to the water, it's the opposite is earth. So when we start to take the mercurial, how can my mind actually stoke the flames of my own inspirations? And I don't feel like I have to convince Aries, mercurial Aries, to go into the unknown, as much as I feel like I want to encourage them to be patient while they're in the unknown, trying to find something to know. So this idea of burning off some steam physically and then allowing yourself the inspired muse. You could do a creative vision board if you like, if that's, you know, it gives you an action to help facilitate the experience. But again, I want to sort of really, when one does a vision board, it's extremely important to be mindful of the photographs you put on it or the words and the verbiage. I once had a woman come to me and she wanted a relationship, and she did a vision board. She came back a week later and showed me her vision board, and there were tons of couples on the vision board, but none of them were looking at each other. They were all looking out somewhere else. And this reflected to me a deep belief about what she thought about relationships, and that somehow they would be on different paths or have a different focus. And when I brought this to her attention, she couldn't even believe that she had done that. Oh, I didn't even notice that. So this is where I think Aries could really benefit, sort of by laying out sort of a collage or a vision board, and then stepping away from it and go work out, and then coming back and looking at it and seeing if it is truly aligned to what you want to experience, and then allowing that alignment to I almost want to say to compound daily. Because I think each time you look at it, there may be a little something that you see in it that is deepening your inspiration. And as you deepen your inspiration, the excitement that you feel for the potentials and the manifestation will then make the wheels of the manifestation move so much quicker. And then you get to stand in leadership for others. And when they say, how did you do that? You said, I got excited about it. I just got excited about it. Really? How did you get excited about it? Well, first I worked out my brain by running a mile. Got it all tired, all too tired to think. And then I let myself look at things that inspired my creative senses, things that made me feel like I wanted to wag my tail. You know, almost, I can't even think. I'm trying to think of what other sign I would assign it to, but I can't. You know, I think every person who likes to jump out of a plane, jump off of a cliff, you know, do anything where their physical body is in danger has some Aries sort of, you know, energy going on there. So if we can apply that same sort of love of danger into our mercurial dynamic, I'm willing to go into the danger zone of believing in myself, in believing that this can happen. If I could think it, I can be it. And if I can think it, I can speak it. And I'm not talking about going to speak it to other people. Again, this is a very personal mercurial experience where you're looking at what you speak to yourself and what you think inside here, not what you tell other people you think. So this is a real opportunity to stand in leadership, to stand in courage and bravery when you have Mercury in the first house of self, because it's really giving you an opportunity to see how your thoughts are things. And this would, to me, very much indicate a life path that is focused on your perceptions and your views. So if your first house is Aries, you're by nature action oriented, and sometimes Aries takes action without thought. So if Mercury's in the first house, it's going to be about taking action through purposeful thought, strategic thought, guided and inspired thoughts. Okay, that's it for me in this series on the planet Mercury and the law of attraction. I hope you enjoyed it. I know this is the Aries one, but I actually started at Pisces and worked my way backwards. So I'm kind of talking and rounding it out when you probably all look at this and think, what? But anyway, that's just how my brain rolls. I wanted to line up in the queue properly. So that's what I did. All right, guys, I'll be back with another innovative and out-of-the-box thought about planets and how they help us manifest. My name is Teri Hunter, and I'll see you soon.